Hello, today we're going to talk about graphing linear inequalities. The ones we're going to look at today are going to have two variables. It's going to be very similar to graphing a line. So first I want to talk about the four inequality symbols that we have and how it's going to change our graph using an inequality instead of an equal sign. So our first inequality symbol is less than. So when we deal with less than, we need to make sure that we have a dashed line for our graph. And that's because the points on the line are not included because the values have to be less than what's on that line. When we shade the graph, we need to shade below. Less than means we're going to shade below. And we'll be able to see a couple examples of this. For our greater than symbol, again, because it does not include the points on the line, we're going to use a dashed line. And we're going to shade above because anything that has greater than is going to be shaded above. It has to be more than what that line represents. Less than or equal to is going to have a solid line. And the reason for that is the points on the line are included. That equal to says, hey, the points on the line will work. Because it's less than, we're going to shade below. And then finally, greater than or equal to, again, we're going to have a solid line because the points are included. And we're going to shade above. And again, this is just some basic information before we get to graphing. So let's take a look at our first graph. I'm going to scroll down here. And it says, graph the inequality y is less than or equal to 1/2 x minus 3. So I'm going to start by graphing my y-intercept, which is -3. So I'm going to go down here to my y-axis, and at -3, I'm going to put a point. My slope, which is the value that's in front of the x, is 1/2. So that means I'm going to go up 1 and right 2 and place another point. Up 1 and right 2 and place another point. And I can continue that pattern. And I can even reverse that pattern. I can go back to my y-intercept and go down 1 and left 2. And down 1 and left 2. And so I can see all of these awesome points that I'm going to graph. Now my inequality symbol here, I'm going to highlight that with this lime green color, says less than or equal to. So since it's less than or equal to, that equal to means that my line can be solid. So I'm going to draw a line through these points as best I can. And since it's less than or equal to, when I shade, I'm going to shade below the line. So all of these points that you see beneath here, including the points on the line, would make that inequality true. All right, let's take a look at another example. This says graph the inequality. We have y is greater than -x plus 5. So I'm going to start the same way I did before. I'm going to start with my y-intercept. In this case, my y-intercept is +5. So I'm going to go up to +5 on my y-axis, and I'm going to plot my point. My slope is in front of my x, and this says negative, which is really -1. If we think about slope, that's going to be like -1 over 1. So I'm going to go down 1 and right 1 and put a point. Down 1, right 1, put a point. And I'm going to continue to repeat that pattern all the way down. And again, just as I did in the previous problem, I can reverse. I can go up 1 and left 1. If I want to extend those points all the way across. Now, when I look at my inequality symbol here, it says greater than. There's no equal to with it. So that means that my line has to be dashed. So I'm going to dash a line through these points because the points on that line are not included in the solution. The dashed line is just kind of like a barrier, but those points are not a part of the solution. And so now, since it's a greater than symbol, everything above the line will be shaded. So here I am shading the region above the line. So any point in this shaded region here, I could plug that value into this inequality and it would work. I hope this information's been helpful. Have a great day.